Welcome back to State of Decay 2 and the Salt of the Earth. This is one of my preparatory streams. I'm doing one of the official State of Decay 2 streams a little bit later today, and I want to make sure that I've gotten a community ready to sort of do the gameplay I want to do in the background while we're talking. This next session is going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about the development of the lore of State of Decay 1 and 2 and potentially into the future, though we're not going to give you a lot of details about that. But we're going to be talking about sort of the process, the way we think about developing the lore of a franchise over time. And it should be an interesting discussion. I'm going to have Andy Collins, our lead writer on State of Decay 2, as well as Brent Fitzgerald, one of the originators of State of Decay, there to sort of talk about how we developed it. And so that's why I chose Salt of the Earth, because they are in Trumbull Valley. And Trumbull Valley is sort of the heart of the State of Decay franchise. It's where the lore lives. It's where it comes from. And so I just want to make sure that this community is ready to just sort of do some fun stuff in the background while we're talking about the game.
Might we chat for a bit?
So let's complete this bounty that we finished in our last session. And now, what bounty should we... Okay, so we've got one bounty to kill Plague Zeds with blunt weapons. Another one to kill Plague Zombie arms. But here's the problem. I don't have Plague Zombies here. So are there any other bounties that I can work on in Trumbull Valley without having to start over from scratch? I'd rather not refresh the entire map if I can help it. But let's see what our options are here. So that was the zombie arms. This is the blunt weapons. Got nothing here. So it looks like getting 2 enclaves to allied status.
But I have faith in you.
That's kind of the thing I can do in this level. So let's take Dora home. And let's figure out how we're going to try to accomplish this. So I don't know if you become allies with... Okay, so I'm already allied with Tressie. I haven't really met Dr. Hoffman yet, so maybe meeting Dr. Hoffman will get me there. I'm not sure. So I had been thinking that I wanted to start up in Mount Tanner. So maybe we'll head up there, but at the same time, I should probably grab... Oh, the Moonshiners. I think I could do some work for the Moonshiners. And, maybe get them closer to allied status. That could work. So, right now the character I've got is tired, though. And another thing I need to do is make sure that the characters in the Salt of the Earth, that I at least have 1 or 2 of them
Let's be careful.
that are in really good shape, so I can, just without having to do a lot of inventory management. Basically, I don't like doing a lot of inventory management while I'm trying to have a conversation. I can fight zombies while I'm having a conversation. I can't manage inventory. So I want to, solve all of my inventory management problems now, in advance of the big official stream. Oh, hey, so I've got a few people talking to me in my chat here. Refy Knight has caught me live for the first time. Welcome to the chat, Refy Knight. It's good to have you here. Is that Refy Knight or is it Reffull Knight? I'm having trouble reading my screen here. Sorry about that. Mr. Xbox Series S, I'm sorry I can't give you any information about State of Decay 3. We are still not at a stage
really need to speed up.
where that would be even appropriate. Alright, do I have anything in the back here? Just useful stuff. Got the Freedom Ringer. Some of these. Okay, it looks like this is all... I guess I don't need all that much fire.
So gross.
Okay, let's get in here. Let's release Dora.
That was noisy.
Actually, maybe I should play as Dora the Explorer here.
Yes.
Let's switch to Dora. Because I don't think I've ever... she's a newly recruited person. I don't think I really know her very well yet. Let's see. Yeah, she's got almost nothing to her name. Let's figure out what we want to put in her backpack. So... Oh, no one's using the bug out? I've got 2 bug out bags here. No one's using them? Well, we're obviously grabbing the bug out bag. And, oh, wait. She is injured. How are we doing with injuries? Let's see here. Okay, we do have passive healing. Okay, so let's set up Dora. Oh, here we go. Resting. Okay, we're already doing that. Free power. No, don't need that. Sanitize. Ooh, faster infection recovery. Free instant health recovery. Cleo fire support radio command. Okay, I actually do kind of want that too. Do I have someplace else I can install that that Clio radio command? Come on, come on. There's got to be some place that I haven't slotted something into yet. If I filled every slot... No, this bedroom. This bedroom gets the Clio support transmitter. Okay, cool. Anyway, I just noticed that I had some gaps there I should fill. But let's figure out what she wants to carry. What does she have in the way of skills? Not a lot yet, and she's got an empty slot for a... Oh, I don't have a doctor, do I? I think we figured out last time I didn't have a doctor. Let's look. Let's look at our people. Electronics, metalwork, gut packing, nothing. Munitions, hacking, gardening. Gardening. So he's Lank the Bee Man. I figure... I mean, I guess bees help with both of these things. You know, I never produce meds at home, so I think I'm gonna go with that. And then... Yeah, sure, let's go swords play. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure I don't have... Yeah, I don't have a doctor. I need a doctor. Okay, Reffel Knight. That's how to say your name. Got it. Okay, so I don't have a doctor, so that means I should check and see if we've got...
Any friendly folks out there listening? I could use some help.
What category do books live in? Are books in the consumables category? Yes. Do I have a doctory? It looks like pouring medicine, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, cool. Use!
It feels good to learn something new.
I am now a doctor. Awesome. And let's get her some heals. Let's get her some ranged weapons. All kinds of options here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think echo weapons would probably be good because they're just very illustrative of like just the main thing that oh, actually, you know, I should give her an echo weapon and a red talon weapon. I think that actually might... I love the Stormbringer. The red talon Stormbringer is awesome. So this one's suppressed. This one... Oh, there's also this network masterwork assault rifle. Oh, I want to try everything. Actually, you know, let's take this way. Let's do the network masterwork assault rifle with the network professional break. And then I think there was like a red talon. Is this a sidearm? Yes. Okay. So the Cyclone is a sidearm. And I assume it takes chokes. Because I think it's a shotgun, right? Professional choke. Yep. Okay, so we're going loud, but that's fine. This is for, you know, the official stream. We want it to be interesting and for me to get in trouble. Let's throw some napalm grenades in there, just for fun. And what else do we need? Probably some snacks. Let's grab some snacks. And some coffee. And then we'll just run around getting in trouble, and that'll be great. But so that'll be what Dora does. But and let's decide what Dora should be dressed in.
Folks, we've got the gear, but to rule this town, we need training.
So
School is in session.
here's a little piece. Here's a little State of Decay Easter egg. She's got Dayton listed on her as sort of like a college on her shirt. Dayton was the code name of State of Decay 2 behind the scenes. That's what we called the game. While we were working on it to avoid, you know, putting the official name of the game or committing to the official name of the game, you know, and putting it all over our stuff. And so, yeah, so we still use the word Dayton internally all the time to refer to State of Decay 2. So that's why her shirt says Dayton on it. But let's... Brandon Court asked, how did we come up with the code name? I didn't come up with it. I think that the general rule, though, is if you want to do code names for things, you don't make it have anything to do with the thing. Like, this was actually a standard like that the CIA set, where, you know, basically they would just sort of pick something that all of their code names would come from, and they would just choose randomly from among that set of things, so that there would be no mental connection. So, like, you know, if somebody found out there was a project with this code name, there would be literally no way to figure out what the project was from the code name. So I think that, like, we tend to, you know, at companies like this, we'll tend to sort of choose, like, something like, oh, we're naming all of our games after mountains, or we're naming all our games after cities, or we're naming it whatever, and they'll just sort of choose. So I think that, like, at that time, I think Microsoft was just naming projects after cities, And so it just chose Dayton, and it was just, that was it. Like, it had nothing to do with State of Decay 2, but that was the point. The point was for it not to have anything to do with State of Decay 2. Okay, so she's got, so she is a doctor. I don't think we've got anything. Unfortunately, we're silly, and we never actually came up with something for a doctor to wear. Oh, but shark hoodie. That's a nice, like, reference to old school State of Decay lore. That's what she should wear. Okay, so we're gonna have her in a shark hoodie, wielding a big giant weapon.
I hear lots of people bad-mouthing the army, calling them cowards. The army I know, the soldiers I served with, they would never just leave people behind. But until we understand what really happened, know that Red Talon is here for you.
I just realized that's the Mamba. Aha! The Kanda! That's what I should bring. This sword is a reference to a character from the Year 1 Survival Edition. And let me make sure that it's actually in good condition. Okay, I'm gonna repair everything. Even if I'm not sure it needs it. Okay, good. Nothing else needed repairs. We want to keep everything in good condition. And then, is there a close combat weapon that's more interesting than this one? Do we sort those at the bottom of the melee weapons? I have so many freaking melee weapons. I need to do a cleansing pass. There's Senor Pokey. The wrench blade. Oh, the Bowie knife is actually my favorite. Let's do the Bowie knife. Okay, we've got this character ready to go. We're gonna use her for our next for our official State of Decay 2 stream, but we need to give her some rest so that she's in good shape when we start that. So let's switch over to, we haven't played Lank the Bee-Man in a while. Let's switch to Lank the Bee-Man, who's got his, just all of his gold stuff. And let's get him equipped. Let's take him out there to start making a little bit of extra progress
Fantastic.
towards this bounty. So I'm going to run over here. And let's see. So we've got... Okay, I've already got the melee weapon I want. Actually, what I want to look at is bullets for this gun. This gun uses 7.62. So let's reload it. Let's top us off on more 7.62. It's got a suppressor. This one's got a brake. I think we're good. He's carrying some of that. I don't think we need that, but I think we do need some of this. And just in case I remember to use it, some of this. All right. Yeah, so let's take him out and have a little bit of an adventure.
I'm heading out.
Oh, let's also the wizard van. Let's make sure that thing is repaired and well stocked for the next person, but then not use it. Let's use something else. So let's grab these, and then let me just grab a gas can.
Too much to carry for long.
All right, let's repair. Hey, repair the wizard van. And then let's make sure that it's well equipped in the back. Okay, so it's got enough gas. And then, but then maybe we should drive this one around. Oh, this one's already got gas. That's good. And it's already got repair kit. That's also good.
Hello again. This is Dr. Hoffman calling from Mount Tanner.
Okay, how loud is that dialogue coming in? Because I might need to reduce its volume, because I think that this official stream that we're doing, or is it audio? Okay, yeah, I need to take down the voice volume, because this official stream that we're doing, I really would prefer to not have. In fact, I could take it down to 0. This official stream is going to be all about us talking, and so really just taking out the voices altogether probably makes a lot of sense. Let's see what it's like to play with no voices, with everybody just speaking in subtitles, and see if that's disconcerting. So Airy Twitch says I should grab Mickey, and every time I get a question on the live stream, I should click Mickey and be like, "What do you think, Mickey?" And and see what he says. Okay, that works. Let me catch up with the chat a little bit before we get on the road. Oh, Bampy wants to know if I have been watching The Last of Us. Yes, I have. So I'm partway through episode 4, so I'm not fully caught up yet. But I loved episode 3 like everybody else, and I think it's cool that they involved the sort of the original, a lot of the original creators of the game. Like, had them right there in the writer's room as, like, co-showrunner. They have, like, Neil Druckmann in there as co-showrunner, so that they can make changes to the lore with utter confidence that they're not violating the sort of, like, the deeper nature of the story that they're telling. Because really, if you want to tell a particular story, even if you had a very specific vision, there's still 900 different ways you could do it. And so, having Druckmann along, I think, does free that team to be able to vary from the specifics of the video game story, while still absolutely being sure that they're staying true to the deeper meanings of the story. And that's one of the reasons why I think The Expanse went so well too, is because they actually had Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham in the writer's room, with Ty even acting as a producer on the show, to make sure that even though they did make tons and tons of changes to the story of The Expanse, it was still The Expanse. Like, I never felt like somebody misunderstood The Expanse and was making a wrong Expanse. It was still the right Expanse. It was a different Expanse from what I loved in the books, but it was still The Expanse. Okay, what was I going to do? Oh, that's right. I was going to look at my radio menu. I need to get away from these zombies, and then I'm going to look at my radio menu. Of course, yeah, the way that we spawn the zombies in this game, there's no such thing as away from the zombies. But I'll do my best. So, I want to find people. Oh, get off. Okay, I want to find people, get started with a new enclave. Oh, the nifty neighbors. Yes, I would love to come by and meet the nifty neighbors. They sound like great people. First, I want to murder these zombies. I also, since I started building that Cleo mod, let me see. I don't remember exactly where Cleo stuff shows up in the radio menu. It might not be here yet. Hold on. Oh, get off. Oh, they got my door. Or did they? Oh, it looked like they got my door, but they didn't. Have we finished building it yet? Okay, we have finished building it. We should be able to call something in. Let me just try to find a place. Man, nothing ever makes me regret decisions on State of Decay 2 like trying to find a place where I can stop and do something without being attacked by a zombie. We made it so freaking relentless. Okay, so I've got supply drops. I've got... Where does this live? Do I have to trigger it from the base menu first? Okay, this is supposed to unlock the Cleo Fire Support Radio command. So, does somebody in the chat know where that is? So Ranithcore, by the way, brings up an example of a weird case of a book being adapted into a TV series where apparently The 100 was optioned or like was basically signed up as a TV series before the first book even came out. And so they basically just developed completely independently from each other. That is fascinating. That'd be a weird job to have. Oh, it's in my Daybreak calls. Really? Oh. I guess. No, of course that makes sense. I forgot that the Cleo thing came from Daybreak. I forgot where I'd gotten it. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so Cleo Fire Support is here. So it gives me a trigger item. And then, I've not actually... The cooldown is 45 minutes. So it occurred to me, I don't think I've ever used that in the game. I might have tried it out like one time when we first made it. And I've never used it again. So I should... What's the right time to do this? So is it basically like just a really powerful sniper call? Is that what that is? Does it like just start randomly headshotting zombies around me? Guess I might as well pop over here. Wait, where am I going? Where are Mikey and the and the nifty neighbors. Oh, they're up here. Oh, they're near Jurassic Junction. Okay, I didn't see them at first. Okay, I'm just gonna scavenge in here because I can. Oh, you want to come too? Ah, take that. Okay. Sometimes I just start driving in a direction, which is fine. It's like, you know, especially when we're doing the official stream, and what I'm doing on the screen is just there to be a Twitch channel. Like, a lot of the time, I'm not playing the game to illustrate any particular thing in the discussion we're having. I'm just playing the game so that there's gameplay on the screen, so that people who are happening by on Twitch will be like, oh yes, this looks like a Twitch channel. And that's the only reason I'm playing. So like just driving in a random direction and getting into random trouble is perfectly fine. I don't have to have any kind of objective. Because the real objective is keep something interesting on the screen while Andy and Brant and I talk about lore or whatever. Oh, yeah, so GamerGeek is pointing out that if I wanted to climb up on a rooftop, that would keep me safe. Also, climbing up on a car is also a good idea. And yeah, that does make... So actually, it's kind of funny. I think of urban areas as being the places that should be most scary and most full of zombies. And that's true of, say, you know, in Project Zomboid, that's definitely true. In our game, I think that there is a slightly higher zombie concentration in urban areas, but it's not nearly as dramatic. And actually, urban areas are the places that have more cars and buildings to climb up onto. So actually, if I want to be safe, going to an urban area is a smarter move, even though in the lore, you kind of think it shouldn't be. So yeah, that's something that we should definitely think about when it comes to, you know, future games in the franchise. We should really think about where zombies are distributed and give players the ability to actually, you know, make decisions about, you know, I'm going to go here, there will be less zombies, and that will be meaningful to my strategy. Okay, so they are on the other side of Jurassic Junction. In this little place. Hello, nifty neighbors. How are you doing? Oh, hey, La Coalition has arrived. Hello, Coalition. Hey there, Kathleen. Wait, oh, I need to talk to Mikey, don't I? Where's Mikey? Hey there, Mikey. Our radio is always on. Okay, so I'm pretty sure these guys who join us this way are already friends? Would that tell me, what do they have to offer? I'm just curious. You can buy a shotgun here. Ooh, I could buy a signal antenna, but I think I've already got a better signal antenna, so I'm not going to. I could buy some parts from them if I wanted to. All right, I got some stuff here. Let's. Oh! It says right here. I forgot. It's behind my head. You can't see it, but it actually says that they're friendly. So that means I only need to complete one mission for these people, and they will become my allies. The question is whether a mission will even fit. I mean, I've got so many official missions here from different people. So interestingly, both of these are from Dr. Hoffman, but. Yeah, I think there's something messed up in the order of our missions here. Because I don't think I'm supposed to be able to get this one until after I've gotten this one. So we did a poor job. The variables that track whether you completed missions or not are just... We made a mistake with them. They don't work the way that we intended them to, and I'm very sad about that. I know Coalition had a very frustrating time with this, where he could not get certain missions to spawn because it just, for whatever reason... the game was reading the logic of what he'd done incorrectly. Oh, Coolest says, actually, no, it isn't. That I'm imagining a requirement that wasn't there. Again, I've lost track of all of this stuff. I've been thinking about a different game for so long, I've forgotten everything that's true about this game. What time is it? It's 1:05. Okay. So I think the main thing I'm doing now is just sort of killing time. So that Dora can recover, and it looks like she has recovered. So I think I might kind of be ready. So what I want to do is let's get back home to my community. Let's be there ready. Let's not switch to Dora yet, but let's be ready to switch to Dora. And then right before the official stream, I'm going to switch to Dora while she has maximum stamina. And we'll try to make Dora last for the entire official stream. So I'll just drive down there. Yeah, so Coalition says that second mission is more Isby. That's true, but I still thought that Isby's missions were not supposed to show up until after you talked to Hoffman. Like, I thought that initial introductory meeting where you meet Hoffman, you meet Isby, you know, and you meet Mickey, like, that happens first, and then Isby starts giving you missions, and then Mickey starts giving you missions, and then Hoffman starts giving you more missions. And so the fact that I'm seeing an Isby mission before we've had the Hoffman mission that's supposed to introduce Isby, that still strikes me as a logic failure. Like Scorpion, I'm not exactly certain I can answer your question with confidence because I'm not on the State of Decay 2 team. But like Scorpion asks, is the infestation, the stuff that's coming in with the infestation update, is that stuff going to be like mandatory basically for all players? Is just how the game works now, or is it only in certain difficulty levels? As I understand it, it's going to be for everyone. But it's going to be different at different difficulty levels. It'll be tuned differently at different difficulty levels. I think a lot of the feedback that we're getting is from players specifically who play in Lethal Zone, because those are the players who are most committed to the game, who are the ones who jump into, you know, the beta to try out new features. They tend to be Lethal Zone players who are looking for the next big thing, you know, because they've sort of mastered the game at all its conventional difficulty levels. And so I think that like players who play on Green Zone, who play on Standard Zone, they will get an update to the way the infestations work, but it's not going to work the way that people are reporting that it works from the beta, because those are all lethal players. I think it's going to be a lot lighter, a lot easier for players to manage. It'll be tuned differently for them. That's how I understand it. However, please don't hold me to this, because I'm not on the team and I could easily have gaps in my knowledge. Okay, so I think I'm basically ready here. I'm gonna switch to Dora when it's time, but I'm kind of ready to go. So I guess we're ready to wrap this up. We kind of did what I came here to do. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed in the chat. I probably did miss something, and I'm still not going to see it. And you're going to be like, "Oh, Jeffrey, you're so bad at reading the chat." I'll be like, "Yes, I know. I'm so sorry." I really appreciate, Wargunny pointing out where I can find that radio option, because that'll be fun to play with. So Baroxicus is warning me that because they're called their nifty neighbors, they might be a Karen. They might report me to the Homeowners Association. I could totally see that. Yeah, occasionally I add new sort of weird names for enclaves just to keep things fresh. I usually make them pretty rare, so it's only players who are playing a lot who would get them. Mama Tinker asks, "Are you enjoying the new job?" That is interesting, because, you know, I went from being the design director on State of Decay 2 to being the lead systems designer on State of Decay 3, which is like, it's interesting because my job title went down, but the scale of project I was working on went up. And so, like, actually, in terms of level of, like, amount of things I'm responsible for, it stayed fairly even. But it does actually, one thing that I'm liking currently, so the nature of my job, like what I'm doing day to day, has changed even since I joined the State of Decay 3 team. It's changed over time, you know. Like as you're moving from through different phases of a project, they need different things from you. And so what I'm doing right now, though, which I can't tell you anything about, I really, really like, because I'm very focused on the systems themselves. Like when I'm focused on, when most of my focus has to be on like managing people and schedules and making meetings happen and like that sort of social aspect of my job, I start getting really intimidated by it, because I'm just like, you know, I'm like I just really want everyone to be happy with me. And so like but the highest anxiety thing I can do is working with people and like, you know, deciding what experience another person is having on the team. When my focus is on an inanimate object, my focus is on the game itself and how the game works, I'm so much more comfortable. And so right now I'm actually heavily focused on the game and how the game works, and that's feeling really good. So I am really enjoying my job these days. So hopefully I'll be able to keep it that way as much as I possibly can. And yeah, I don't know if other folks sort of have a similar division in their head where there's like, my job comprises a lot of things, and I like it when I'm doing, you know, 70% of them, but I really don't like 30% of them. And so the more I can make the game about that 70%, make the experience, my job about that 70%, the better off I'll be. let's see here. Okay, so Just V showed up and says, longtime veteran player here with a question. So my forever community has 9 people. Oh no, is this about the population cap? Because the population cap is the stupidest thing in the world, and I hate it so much. My forever community has 9 people. Had 10. I sent one to the pool because I needed to make room for someone. For Warlord, for facility I needed to build. I tried recruiting someone, the game won't let me. Yes, our population cap is the stupidest thing in the world. I am so sorry. We should have just made a clearly communicated hard population cap, said what it was, and then let you deal with that. Instead, we made this complicated thing that's supposed to be trying to manage something behind the scenes, but it doesn't work. And yeah, so it's working the way we implemented it there, where basically there are different population caps depending on how you recruit people under what circumstances. It's really stupid, and I would really love for us to change it. It's hard to change it. There are a lot of things in the game that assume it works the way it works right now, and it's scary to change it because if we do, it's hard to predict actually what bugs would crop up as a result of it. And so we've been hesitating to do it because it would be, number one, a lot of work that we could spend that time doing other things that might be more impactful in some cases. But also, we don't know how much work it is because we don't know how many problems we'll cause and things will break when we do it. So I'm so sorry. Yeah, it definitely feels bugged to you because it works a stupid way. So it's not a bug. It's a feature, but it's a bad feature, and I'm really, really sorry. So I don't know. I advocate now and then for us to fix that particular thing, but you know, there's a lot of factors that go into how we decide, you know, how the team decides what happens next, and it's hard for one particular thing to always end up on top because there's so many other options. But yeah, I totally sympathize with you. The concern you're raising is real, and I'm sorry that that's how it's going for you. All right, let's see here. Okay, I think I've mostly caught up with things. Let's see. I think, yeah. Rosenberg is like, how does the game work? LOL. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Is I guess what we're saying. Oh, so, okay, Coalition wants me to read the prestige-related... Okay, the reason I was hesitating was because Coalition was putting a bunch of Jeffrey's not reading the chat emojis up, and I couldn't figure out where it was. So he says, let's see here, I want to annoy Jawa and the State of Decay 2 team to persuade them to make the Clio relay pay prestige instead of charging it to partially satisfy the getaway to win prestige in the main game wish list. Okay, so basically what Coalition is saying is that people want a way to earn prestige that is not playing Daybreak. And he's got ideas for how to do it, and we've been resisting for a long time because if we do add that at some point, we want to do it in the right way, in a way that doesn't just create another broken problem for us to solve. And so we've been very cautious about it. And so he's got one particular idea that he wants to pursue, and he's like, wants to annoy Jawa until it happens. I mean, again, like, it's, you know, I think we might get into a little bit of this kind of discussion when we have the official stream. But basically, when you're building a franchise and you don't know where it's going to go in the future, what you do is like you try to set yourself, you set up a bunch of stuff. You just plant setups all the time. Like Clio was a setup that I was like, I think that this will be an interesting thing to do something with in the future. So when I was working on the Year 1 Survival Edition, I added Clio, and I imagined we could do this with Clio, we could do that with Clio, but I didn't really know what we were going to get to do with Clio. But she was a really interesting setup. And so I put the interesting setup in there thinking maybe we could do something with this in the future. And we very nearly didn't. Like, I had to keep pushing to, like, make sure that Clio something happened. Because I felt like I had made a promise to the audience by setting up Clio. And I just didn't want to leave without a payoff. And so, you know, Homecoming finally tied up that Clio thread. But there are a million different ways. I thought of that working out a completely different way when I originally was writing about Clio. But as long as it got a satisfying conclusion, that's all I care about, right? Like I mean, I like some of the other ideas I had, but, you know, not necessary. The main thing is that we close it off in some way. So Prestige is another one. It's not a lore thing, it's more of a design thing. But we set up this idea that there's this currency that you can use to buy fancy stuff that kind of floats above the layer of the game. It's an account level currency. that seems potentially valuable. When we were creating it for Daybreak, we're like, hey, this is something we could use for all sorts of stuff. Let's stick it in the game and then see what we use it for later. And everyone can see that potential. It's clearly a setup without a punchline. It's like somebody started telling you a joke and then walked off. And so it's like, yeah, and part of that just comes from the fact that, it's like we don't really have like a consistent, like, direction of this franchise has passed from hand to hand to hand to hand over time. We haven't had, it's not like it's a single person who's just been like, I've got a vision for this game and it's going to play out this way. We tend to be a very collaborative team with people moving in and out of jobs, and that means that it's hard for there to be this very consistent sense of, we do setups and we do punchlines, setups and punchlines. We do a bunch of setups and then hopefully the next person picks it up and uses it for a punchline. But a lot of times somebody new comes in and you're like, they've got their own stuff they want to do. So it's actually, it's a miracle that we've paid off anything at all, honestly. Let's see here. Okay, so Airy Twitch says, my request is to get Brant to talk. He usually defers to others, but getting his take on the lore is priceless. So yeah, I will try. So he's actually the first, my intention is to specifically prompt Brant to talk about very early game franchise, lore development, and to prompt Andy specifically on some of the late stage stuff that he was fully in charge of. And then I'm there for a lot of the middle stuff that I was in charge of. But again, we've passed this franchise from hand to hand to hand, so it's never just one person seeing it through. Yeah, so we've got a lot of ideas for how Prestige should work, but again, like I'm very nervous about just creating another thing that people grind rather than a more satisfying, coherent system. All right. Cog says, every possible version of State of Decay 2 should exist, implementing all of your ideas. Yeah, and then there should be a big elaborate settings menu. We can turn them all on and off, right, Cogs? Like, that's Cogs' vision for the game, as I understand it, is there's a settings menu with a tab that's just full of features you can just turn on and off at will. Corrupt Snake, I don't think I'll be playing Hogwarts Legacy. Not because I'm like, it's a complicated discussion to get into, how much you should associate an author with the franchises that they create. And I don't want to get into that discussion now. I've got interesting, complicated feelings about it. But it's not because of that. It's because I actually, like, once the last Harry Potter movie came out, I just kind of like, okay, I'm done with Harry Potter. And I'm just kind of done with Harry Potter. I don't have, like, strong feelings about it. Like, I'm not like, oh, wow, another Harry Potter thing? I'm so excited about it. I'm like, yeah, I had the Harry Potter experience and it's over. So I'm just not very interested in playing Hogwarts Legacy for reasons that have nothing to do with any of the, like, the controversy and stuff around it. Okay, I really should go now. Let's wrap this up. So, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll put a thing there, and more things here. There's going to be things everywhere. You can click on that stuff. I don't know.